Okay, so I'm going to get started here. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar session today. My name is Sandra and I'm going to help with monitoring the webinar. So if you have any questions, we are going to have a Q&A period at the end of the webinar. There's a box at the bottom of the Zoom screen. It's named Q&A. If you can post your questions in there. You can also post them into the chat as well. And if you also have any audio or video issues, please post that into the chat and I can help you out after the introductions. Our speaker for today is Marc Belaiche. He is the president and founder of Guhuza.com, and he will be going over live interview technology that you can find on Guhuza. It's a new platform that's powered by TorontoJobs.ca. I don't think there's anything else on my end, Marc. I guess, yeah, just if anyone has any questions, please post them into the Q&A box, and I'll be back at the end just to help monitor those questions, and I'll be posting links throughout the webinar as well, so if you want to jot them down and check them out along the way, you're more than welcome to do that. So I hope everyone enjoys the webinar, and I'll pass it over to you, Marc.
Well, terrific. Thanks, Sandra, and thanks for organizing things as always. And really appreciate everybody taking their time to come on here. We're scheduled to go for half an hour, and within that, I'm going to cover a number of different things. But again, thanks for attending. A little bit about myself first. I've been in the recruiting industry for over 25 years. I can't say I've seen everything, but there's always something new, and obviously the pandemic was something that nobody had ever seen, obviously. But the last couple of years have definitely been a very interesting point in my recruiting career. I also wrote the book called Tales from the Recruiter. You can check it out Amazon or visit talesfromtherecruiter.ca as well. I'm going to cover off a little bit about the job numbers, more specifically in Canada here. I'm going to discuss the recruitment landscape and how Guhuza disrupts it, and introduce you to Guhuza, really an out-of-the-box hiring platform, which really came about as a result of COVID. And again, as Sandra mentioned, please feel free to drop any questions in the chat, and we'll try to get through as many as we can as we go along here as well. So so a little bit about the job numbers here in Canada. I know we have people from all over the place. Guhuza is really focused right now in Canada, more specifically in Toronto, but covering off a little bit in terms of the Canadian labor market. In September, employment increased by about 21,000. Employment rate stands at 5.2%, which is great compared to where we were just after the pandemic, which got up to over 13%. We've obviously created a lot of jobs over the time. So the province in Canada with the lowest unemployment rate is Saskatchewan at 4.1%. And Newfoundland and Labrador sits at 9.5% unemployment rate. In Ontario, the unemployment rate is 5.8%, so just slightly above the national Canadian unemployment rate. And in terms of Toronto, 6.0% unemployment rate, which is over the Ontario average and above the Canadian average as well. The city with the lowest unemployment rate across Canada, actually, interestingly enough, is Quebec City, Quebec, and that's at 2.7%, which is really unbelievable. In the U.S., just to touch on it a little bit, the U.S. added 263,000 jobs last month, and that was a decrease from the 315,000 that they had the month before. The unemployment rate sits at 3.5%, which is a half-century low. So lots of job opportunities in Canada. We have close to 1 million open job positions as well. So again, my name is Marc Belaiche. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat and we'll cover them at the end as we go along here as well. Now, a little bit about Guhuza.com. Now, Guhuza is not a job board. It's a hiring platform. It's under a different kind of umbrella of websites and organizations. In fact, we feel that job boards have kind of come and they're no longer as useful as they used to be. We save a lot of the time by eliminating a lot of the steps in the process for job search and for employers looking to hire. We eliminate scheduling. We eliminate, from a candidate's perspective, we eliminate the need for you to apply to positions, for you to get excited about a job. You see a job online and you tweak your resume and you tweak your cover letter and you spend all this time. And our statistics find that 75% of people never hear back from applications. And also that job seekers get ghosted or have been ghosted over 85% of the time. So there's a lot of issues. And on the employer side, they have issues with scheduling. They have issues with people not showing up, getting ghosted, and the length of the time. In fact, it takes 36 days on average for a company to fill a position on average. So Guhuza uses AI matching technology to match you with a great position based on your resume and the job description. And all you have to do, and I'm going to show you here in a sec, is upload your resume and be ready to interview. We will do the rest. So we're going to save you time as a job seeker. As I mentioned, you spend a lot of time, I get it, we hear it all the time, you spend a lot of time going through your applications, going through job postings, reading sometimes pages of job descriptions, and getting very little return. So the job board industry has not changed in over 20 years, most of my career in recruiting. And employers and job seekers in general don't have the patience to go through lengthy recruiting processes as they once used to. They want speed to connect. That's where we're at right now in today's world. So on the platform, you can register very easily, and I'm going to show you this video, and you're gonna have a look-see, and it'll give you all the information here as we go along here. So I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to play this video. Okay, here we go. It's a 6-minute video, and here we go. Hi, this is Mark with Guhuza.com. In this video, I'm going to share with you how to upload your resume. So you just go to Guhuza.com. I'm a job seeker. We'll take you to this page. Now, there's a couple of ways you can register with us, but the fastest and easiest way is just click or drag and drop in the area to upload your resume, which you will find by opening up your, clicking on it will give you an option to upload the resume in there, or the second option is to just click and drag it and move it from somewhere else. Perhaps you have it saved in a folder or something. So I'm going to move my resume into here, and it's going to take a couple of seconds for it to load up. And once you have it in here, it will just take your information from your resume, as far as we can see, and put it into our system. And all you need to do at this point is just create a password. You're going to create your password, and you're going to register. Well, so I've already used this password. So I've changed the email to sales@guhuza.com. So I'm going to look good and register. And again, that will just take a couple of seconds. I can update my information there. And we have successfully created an account. Please check your email for an email verification link. So here's the email that I've received. And I'm going to activate my account now. Very simple, very straightforward. And now I can log in. And I'm going to use the same password that I used just a second ago. And I'm going to log in. You can save your password. Now, I'm going to send myself a code because I want to make sure to activate my phone so I get messages for live interviews that will come up. So I'm going to send the code right now. And by the way, while that was going on, I also received an email that gives me some information and some tips on how to use the platform. So you will receive this platform as well. You will receive this email, which gives you great tips on how to use the platform. And that's really it from there. Now I'm going to verify my phone number. Again, very important to get my information in, make sure that the password is right, make sure my email is activated, make sure my text message is working. So I'm going to verify that code, and that's it. And then from here, you're just going to follow the process. You're going to upload the profile picture. So I move my picture in here. I'm going to save this image. Now you can skip it, but you want to definitely have some information here as well. Now we've got some really cool features where you can just put in your information and your postal code, and it'll pop down with populate already some information in there as to what we think it is. Just gonna make a couple of changes in here just to make sure that we have the right information. So, 27, where our offices are. I'm gonna save that. Now I can put in my hourly pay, my annual pay. We put in obviously annual pay minimum of 1,000, so not to confuse hourly pay with annual pay. So you could put in say $25, and all you have to do is just type 25. It'll format it for you. Now you can change temporary contract position, permanent position, etc. Fairly straightforward. You can cover it off. Now you can put in, change a little bit of the summary, something that the employer will see, so you can edit this as you go along. So I'm just going to save and continue this. Now, we're happy to have an app, so you can download the iOS app. It'll be much better for you for interviews, and all you need to do is just send the link to yourself. And that is great because it populates already the number. Send the link. It'll give you the app, download a great link just to get you right to the download, and then here you are. Here I am. I can see my current and past interviews. I can update my profile, personal information, my resume, notifications. Very important that you get your notifications on. You make sure you want to send an email, send a text message. You should have it so that it's you want to be notified on every single day, not just weekend, not just during the day. You want to be there for all days and times. You want to be as open as possible. We defaulted to 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., but I would put in as early as possible. I would put in 1 a.m., depending on obviously what time you sleep, 11 o'clock p.m. So that will give you some ideas as to where you may want to go as well. Okay, so say 11 o'clock p.m. Or 11, and update that, and there you go. I can be notified at any time, and anytime I want to be notified during weekends as well. And so these are great ways to make sure that you're going to get those notifications for these for your interviews. So that basically covers off, and again, if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. But that basically covers a very simple way of how to create a profile on Guhuza.com. So you can see it very simplified. We made it as simple. Just upload your resume. We'll take the data. Just make sure that you answer a few more questions, and then that's it. And then what we've got next is another video that is going to show you how it works. So you've created your profile, you've got the notifications. Remember, keep in mind, very, very important for you to have the notifications set up properly so that people know how and when to reach you, and that our system sends you messages when it's the appropriate time for you to that works best for you. So I'm going to go into play another recording for you, and what this shows is what happens when you get a message from us to tell you that, hey, there's a great opportunity and now's the time that you should interview. So here we go. I'm just going to share my screen again here, and I'm going to play video number 2. No, sorry, this is not the right one. Sorry about that. So this is this one here. Okay, so this is what happens now when you get an email for an opportunity, for a job opportunity. So when you're invited to a job, you'll get an email similar to this, and it will be addressed to you, and it's saying, interview right now for the position of executive assistant. Now, what you want to do is just quickly look over, make sure that it's the right role, and then you want to click on Interview Live right now. And that will take you to our page, which will then show you the opportunity. You can look through it, see congratulations, you've been invited to interview for a position right away. So you can either, well, you can quickly look at the job description and make sure that it's to your liking. And if you like it, then you can join the waiting room. If you're not interested, you click on not interested. And if you want to refer a friend, you can click to refer a friend as well. So if you don't think it's appropriate for you, but you're interested in maybe passing it over to a friend of yours, you can do that at that point. Now at this point, you want to join the waiting room. If you like it, it's an opportunity there. Terrific. You should click join the waiting room. Allow your camera to use, allow your phone to use your camera, and welcome. So at this point, the system is just telling you that the interviewer is with somebody else and that your interview will start shortly. Now, when the interview starts, and you may need to wait a little bit of time, but you will get a message or a phone call on your phone, and that way you can accept it and start the interview. Allow your camera, allow your microphone, and always just make sure that you have all the right settings. I'm going to join the meeting now. And you'll now be connected. In this case, it's just myself and myself. So you will see the interviewer, and then you will also see yourself in the small postage stamp. And that's it, you're done. You're well on your way to finding a new job. So that's what happens when you get an invitation through email. But you'll also get a text message as well, depending on your settings. And again, this is why it's important to confirm your settings, confirm your information in the process of registering. And what's going to happen here is I'm just going to show you the same kind of thing, but just in this case, it's just going to be a text message. And here we go. Now, in the case that you receive a text message, very similar scenario. You click on the link, it allows you to look at the job posting and takes you exactly to the same area. Join waiting room, not interested, click to refer a friend. So you can see all kinds of different ways that you can connect with the person, whether you receive an email or whether you receive a text. So what we have talked about in our on our teams that we're trying to keep it as simple as possible and direct, and we realize that this is a paradigm shift in terms of where we're going. So we're going to explain that shortly as well. But a couple other things about the platform is that you may also be asked to do a test or a background check by one of the employers. And if you do, you'll receive an email asking you to click through the links, and everything can be done online. We have over 500 tests that an employer can choose from, everything from accounting to call center, administrative, and so on. And so you could just do the test, you click submit, and then you're done from there. So I'm just going to show you a couple other things just off the platform and just navigate, and then that will wrap up this webinar. Now, if you need to also get a copy of this afterwards, we will be sending you a copy of the recording, and you can also check it out on our Facebook Live, which will also be in our YouTube channel, and I know Sandra will be going back over that as we go along here. So once you're logged in, which I'm logged in right now, there's a few other features. You have a knowledge base that you can look how to apply for jobs. There's hundreds of articles on here that you can look at. There's short quick links, job seeker links that you can get to. How do I post my resume? How long will job seekers wait in line? All kinds of great information that we keep adding to, and the answers are all just here. Just click through. In addition, you can see your current and past interviews. So if you've done any interviews, you'll also be able to see who you interviewed with. So you don't have to keep track manually. Our system does that for you. And you can always update your profile, personal information, resume, pay, notifications, login and security can all be done on the platform as well. Now, if you need some help, just click on here on the support and make sure to put in your email address or contact information so we can call you if you're not logged in. If you're logged in, great, we'll have your information. But if you have not created a profile yet or you're not logged in, we don't know who you are. So make sure to put in your preferences, profile, let us know. There's also some contact information, so you can always text us as well. You can also email us, text support too. And from here, you can also join up all our social media as well. So actually, I just realized that I was not sharing my screen. So I'm going to do that again. Sorry about that as we go along here. So I apologize for that. I thought I was going back and forth with sharing and not sharing. So coming back to this thing, let's rewind about 3 minutes. Here I am in my account, and I can click on the knowledge base. So how to apply for jobs. For example, I can click on here. There's hundreds of articles, hundreds of tips on what to do. So you can click on it. You can follow along. The job seeker quick links are on here as well. And then from here, my account, you can always go back. You can see your current interviews, your past interviews. So right now I don't have any, but your interviews will all show up here. So you don't have to try to remember who you interviewed. You'll be able to see which companies, which jobs you interviewed for. You can also update your profile, personal information, and notifications. Remember how important it is to have that. Contact, here's our text number, inquiries, tech support, and our links to our social media as well. And a little bit about us and what we're all about, how we came about, why we created the platform, what's with the name. People ask us this question quite a bit. Guhuza is Rwandan for to connect. We don't have any specific affiliation with Africa or Rwanda, but it captures the essence of what we're creating, where we can connect live between job seekers and employers. So we're here to help. There's a little bit of background as to how we came about. We've been around for 2 years now, and we're excited about where we're growing, and we're getting more and more employers using this every day, and job seekers as well. If you have any questions, you can always click our support. Make sure to put in your email address so we can contact you. Sometimes people don't include their email address or phone number or contact. If you're registered, then great, we'll have it. If you're not, then make sure you have some information on there as well. So make sure to play around with it. I've shown you some text sample messages. So a few other notes I should share with you, because it is really simple. We've made this as simple as possible. This platform was designed by recruiters for people looking for jobs. Our team has over 150 years of recruitment experience in us. So we know what job seekers want. We know what employers want. We're fixing a lot of problems on this platform. Now, one of the issues that comes up, you may not always be ready for an interview. We get it. But do your best. We advise our clients and we let them know that people may not always be perfectly groomed and manicured and everything else or super prepared for an interview. They get it. But we feel that the immediacy and the speed of this and the lack of ghosting, or the ghosting will disappear, that these are issues that are more important than you necessarily being super prepared for an interview. So right now it's set as immediate interviews. Interviews cannot be scheduled later. So if you miss the interview, there may be another opportunity around the corner. But again, we think that speed and lack of ghosting on both sides is more important than being able to schedule an interview in the future. If you're not super ready for it, you can watch the job description. You can read the job description while the interview is taking place. But we feel, again, the matching is and the speed is super important. So in conclusion, we are unique. We're the only platform where you can get all these services in one place. It's going to significantly reduce the time it takes you to find a job. No more having to scroll through jobs and job postings and applying and never hearing back. You're only going to hear from us when there's going to be an opportunity, a job opportunity for you. We will send you communications, newsletters, and so on, but we will especially send you positions where you can interview live right now. So some other comments, try us out, register today, recommend a friend. This platform is powered by TorontoJobs.ca. Again, it's been designed by a team of recruiters, developers, and job board industry professionals who have over 150 years of experience. So trust that we know what we're doing and what you're looking for, what employers are looking for. This is a paradigm shift. So with that, I'll turn it back to Sandra, and I know we have some questions here as well. And I want to thank you in advance for taking the time to be on here.
Yeah, we do have a couple of questions. So we had mentioned Toronto Jobs in the beginning of the webinar. So if you can maybe talk about just the relationship between Guhuza and Toronto Jobs.
Yeah, for sure. So Toronto Jobs is the backbone, is the power behind Guhuza. It's a team at TorontoJobs.ca that developed this, and TorontoJobs.ca has been around for close to 20 years now. So Toronto Jobs supports the initiative. It's a brand that people in the Greater Toronto area and beyond have trusted for over 20 years. And we are the team that gives the setup and makes sure that this gets set up as quickly as possible.
Okay, the other question that we have is if you can talk about whether or not Guhuza specializes in certain industries on like in terms of the employers that we have on Guhuza, like is it specialized to a certain industry, or can you find employers across all industries?
Yeah, sounds great. Great question. So yeah, I would say every industry and type of job is covered. There are positions from all different areas, ranging from skilled workers to accounting, to IT, sales, administrative. It's all over the place. But geographically, we're more so in the Greater Toronto area right now. Toronto is the third largest recruiting market in North America behind New York and Los Angeles. And we feel that as we capture this market and as we gain traction in the Greater Toronto area, our plan is to expand beyond that geographically. But to specifically answer your question, no, it's all industries, and there's all different types of positions on the platform right now.
Okay, so I think I'll take one more just because it's getting closer to 12:30 here. If you can talk about the AI technology on Guhuza and what it's based on. Is it based on things like location or skill set?
Yeah, another good question. So we do use state-of-the-art AI technology, and we're always learning from previous searches and matches that we've done. Now, I just want to be clear that you're only going to get matched to jobs that make sense to your skill set. And that's our AI looking at the resume and the job description and making the best match possible. So we really base our matches on comparing those two, the job description with the database of resumes. Now, while we can match only on location, we have realized and noticed that some companies may start with the idea that they want somebody in an office, and then when they actually start interviewing people, they realize that, well, wait a sec, do we need somebody in the office? Maybe this person can do the job remotely. Similarly, you might get a text for a job that is located in an office, but as you interview them, you might realize, hey, maybe working in an office isn't too bad, or you might make some kind of connection with a hybrid. So right now, it is not based on anything really other than job skills and the resume and the job description. And that's really it in a nutshell in terms of the AI. It's very sophisticated. Don't worry about changing your resume to adapt to what you think it will be, because our AI reads beyond that. It looks for experience, skills, and especially skills, because we're looking at specific jobs and your experience within those positions.
Okay, is there anything else that you wanted to add just before we stop the webinar here?
No, I just want to thank everybody for being on, and give it a shot, and I wish you luck. And as we get more and more employers, you're going to get more and more messages, but just bear with it. It's not always immediate, so give it some time. Sometimes it might take 30 seconds or a minute for the technology to kick in and connect you with an employer. So if you're thinking, okay, well, wait a second, I clicked on it, nothing's happening, it may take a little bit of time for the whole process to do a proper match together.
Okay, so I'm just reposting Marc's information here if anyone wants to reach out to him if they have any more questions. And again, as I've mentioned before, and Marc has mentioned, I will be sending a recording after the webinar, and it'll be up on our social media as well.
I want to thank you, Sandra.